Hey guys, Calamity here with another video, and today we're going to go over Dendro reactions. This video is supposed to be like a quick start cheat sheet for all the reactions you can do with Dendro. Now, a couple things to keep in mind with this video is that one, we're still figuring out the best way to optimize the Dendro element, so these teams that you'll probably see in these showcases are not optimal. And the second disclaimer is that none of my Dendro characters are properly built. In fact, we're using Traveler, who isn't a bad Dendro character, but I still need to get talent levels for them and artifact pieces for them. So you might see some really low damage numbers, but keep in mind this isn't to represent the damage showcase of Dendro, just to show you how to do the reactions and what they do. This is just a simple guide. That being said, let's get started. So we have this first team here, and I have this team to showcase that these are the elements that don't work with Dendro. We're going to start with the basics. Cryo, Geo, and Anemo have no reaction with Dendro whatsoever. In fact, when you use Geo plus Dendro, you won't even get a crystallized shard, nor will Anemo swirl with Dendro. So keep that in mind when you're building your teams. That being said, the other three elements not mentioned are the ones that you will be using when you use Dendro. So the first one we're going to showcase is Burning, and we're going to have a lovely assistant show us this elemental reaction, and I'm sure this is the one that you all know already and what it does, because you've probably used it when you fought those Dendro slimes while exploring Teyvat. So very simple, we're just going to use Dendro, and then you're going to smack him, and then there's Burning. You see the ticks? It doesn't last that long, and again, damage numbers are low because I'm using 2 support characters to do this reaction. The numbers would be a little bit more impressive if the characters were actually built for damage and they had more EM, but neither do. Alright, so that was the Burning reaction. Again, nothing too fancy there. Probably the weakest Dendro reaction out of all of them. Now, this next team is to showcase the next set of Dendro reactions, and we have Zhongli here just to be a shield, so I don't have to worry about damage from Masanori. And the next set of reactions is going to be called Quicken, Aggravate, and Spread. Quicken is the first reaction that will occur when you mix Dendro with Electro. Now, from what I understand, Quicken doesn't actually do anything by itself, but you need it to do the next 2 reactions called Aggravate and Spread. What Aggravate and Spread do is make enemies take increased Electro damage and Dendro damage, respectively. So if you hit them with Quicken and then hit them with Electro damage, you will activate Aggravate, so they'll take increased Electro. And then if you do Quicken, but then the next damage they take is Dendro, then you will activate the Spread reaction, which will increase the Dendro damage. Now, of course, you can keep applying these reactions over and over again as long as you have Electro and Dendro constantly applying to your enemies. So we're going to showcase this now. Alright, so we're just going to use Zhongli here to shield, and then we're going to activate Traveler's ult. So there's the Quicken, there's the Spread, there's the Aggravate. The text is kind of small, but we're just going to keep applying. So he's blocking all the hits, so you can't really see the damage, but there's the reactions. Oh. So much for the demonstration there. But that's how you activate the reactions. Nothing fancy happens. You just, when you apply the elemental reactions. If you're wondering, like, okay, that's cool and all, but how much more damage are they taking? I'm going to show you guys how to check that information later on in the video. So let's move on to the next set of reactions after I heal my Yaimiko from getting booty blasted, and I'll be right back. So the next set of reactions is called Bloom, Hyperbloom, and Burgeon. I don't know how to say that last one, so correct me in the comments. I'm sure that's going to be something I'm mispronouncing. Anyways, Bloom is again when you mix Dendro plus Hydro, and you will spawn a seed. Now, you can only spawn 1 seed per enemies, so if you manage to do an AoE application of Hydro and Dendro, you will spawn a bunch of seeds on a group of enemies. Now, I believe the max you can spawn is 5. If you try to spawn another one while you have 5 on the field, one of the the oldest seed that's been on the field the longest will explode and deal very mediocre damage. However, the other two elemental reactions, Hyperbloom and Burgeon, these are affected when you hit these seeds with either Electro or Pyro. So if you hit the seeds with Pyro, you're going to get the Burgeon, again, I don't know how to say that word, elemental reaction. And this will make your seeds explode, dealing increased damage. Now again, this is based off your elemental mastery. If you hit it with Electro, you will turn the seeds into sort of like a homing missile, and they will target the nearest foe. And we're going to showcase both of them here, because you need all 4 of these elements to get this to work. Now, again, to keep in mind, Bennett is not a DPS character, or I have not built him to be a DPS character, so the damage on the Burgeon probably won't be that impressive. It's just to showcase what the reaction is and what it looks like. I really hope I don't die again. Alright, so we're gonna apply Hydro, and we're gonna make the seed. Ouch. So there's a seed right there on the floor, and then if you do Pyro, there's Burgeon, and it made the seed explode. Now, if you do Dendro again, there should be... Oh, we got Burning because he's standing on fire grass, but we're gonna do this. And then we're going to get the seeds to come out. So you see every time we're applying Dendro plus Hydro, we're making seeds. Then we're gonna use Yaimiko. And then you see the Hyperbloom there, it just made the seeds turn into a missile and like go for him. Again, damage not being impressive because these characters aren't really built. Well, Yaimiko's a DPS, but not for EM. So we'll do it one more time. So, Dendro, Hydro, makes the seeds. You can see them spawning on the field. We got a little bit of Hyperbloom there because he's Electro and he hit the seeds. Keep in mind the enemies can also use the seeds against you. That's something you have to be aware of. They can use your own Dendro seeds against you. It is kind of hard to set up the reactions because you might be getting some Aggravate and Spread in there, but that's okay if you do, because it just means when you do set up the Hyperbloom and Burgeon, they'll take extra damage from the seeds. So you can see the seeds are spawning again. I almost died. Alright, we're canceling the fight there just because I showcased the seeds enough and what they look like. Alright, finally, I just want to show you one last piece of info before we head out here for today. If you are curious about like how much damage is the Aggravate and the Spread gonna do, how much is the Hyperbloom gonna do, the Burgeon, etc, etc. If you go to any character's stat page and you go to Elemental Mastery and you click it, you will see information right here, right here in the center. All these reactions are listed, but the last ones, Bloom, Hyperbloom, and Burgeon, are increased by 86.4%. Damage provided by Aggravate and Spread to 43.5%. Now, I don't know if there's a base increase in damage, and this is adding on to that base, but if there is, someone in the comments can let me know, please. But this is on a character that isn't really optimized in EM. As you can see, my Yaimiko only has 114. Now let's look at a character that I definitely invested heavily on EM, like Kazuha. So Kazuha has 943 EM. So let's pretend he was Dendro, right? And I wanted to see how much Dendro reactions would do with him. Now you can see some of these percentages are kind of crazy. So if I did Bloom, Hyperbloom, and Burgeon, 512%, almost 513% on 943 EM. And then the increased damage taken from Dendro and Electro would be 220%. These are pretty impressive numbers. Also keep in mind that Kazuha, the way I built him, is not crazy or like whale status here. The weapon he is using is an Iron Sting. Now this is a free-to-play craftable sword. You can make this a Mondstadt, and it gives you Elemental Mastery as its substat, making it pretty great. Artifacts wise, just do what you would do normally. Like, this set doesn't even give him EM. I just gave him main stat EM. There's no reason you can't do this with the new Dendro sets, by the way. So definitely reachable numbers here, and not whale status DPS when it comes to making a Dendro team. So with that being said, there's definitely a lot of potential, and I would like to see it once I get my Traveler built, once I get Collie built, and once I figure out some good team synergies. I would definitely love to give the Spiral Abyss a try with the Dendro team setup, and I would like to record that and, you know, share it with you guys, and we'll see how it performs overall. But I'm very excited to see the potential of Dendro. Now, I know they're actually called like Dendro cores or something. I just call them seeds. I'm sorry if that's been bugging you. I just call them seeds. That being said, I think this video has gone on long enough. If you have any questions about the Dendro element, I will do my best to try to answer them. But thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, good luck in Sumeru.